St. Paul, the Fan.
I always love that one.
It's a covenant cleanup. We say stupid things all of the time.
Who?
Hey, have a seat for a second.
Hold on to your butt.
All I can say is, wow.
Shall we begin?
It's a beautiful morning. I think I'll go outside for a while and just smile. Just taking some clean, fresh air. Staying inside. If the weather's fine and you got the time, it's your chance to wake up and plan another brand new day. Either way, it's a beautiful morning. Each bird
Yo, what's going on, everybody? And welcome to Scheels at Eden Prairie Center. This is the 9 to noon radio show and the philanthropic Toys for Tots Tuesday that makes up 9 to noon and FM 100.3 KFAN. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Hall of Famer about to depart. A round of applause for Mark Rosen, ladies and gentlemen. He is HOF, and he's departing. See you, Rosie. Eric Nordquist produces. J-Dub, Jared Wells is technically guiding Toys for Tots today at FM 100.3 KFAM. Brett Blakemore guides the great ship Love Covenant back at the 651 Carpets Plus Studios. HOF getting a lot of love right now, Nordo. Holy cow.
Yeah, he is. And
I wonder if the lawyer's listening.
yeah, well, this is going to be our FVP marathon segment. I'm sure it's part of 9 to noon. And
We can do that.
We'll be on air for the next 20 minutes, and all of it will include Mark Rosen standing in front of us, hugging and handshaking.
Yeah.
And,
No, that's fine, Rosie.
oh, Rosie, stay.
No, at age 57, I found myself thoroughly enjoying what was happening right in front of us. I mean,
The patriarch of the fan, Mark Rosen.
I mean, it's giving until you have nothing else to give with those hugs. Ain't no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
FVP batteries in the marathon segment. The con rolls in with the marathon push in the first segment. I guess I'm charged with handling Northern Fire when we do Vikes Bites, right?
Well, absolutely, and we're still waiting for Unreal to release our official KFA and NASCAR jackets so that we can handle all the bits all the time. At one point, we won't even have to say anything.
How about that? Brett Blakemore at the 651 Carpets Plus Studios in a segment provided by TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon includes the FVP Batteries Marathon segment, FVPParts.com. And coming up very soon will be Vikes Bites provided by who?
Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply, NorthernFireBBQ.com. After you fill the cart with toys here at Scheels, head on over for more toys at Northern Fire.
And what's going on? Good to see you. The verbal NASCAR jacket has unfurled, but as the lesson at hand, the topic at hand here at Scheels at the Eden Prairie Center for Toys for Tots, sources tell us the queen of the animals almost got bit by a dog. Well, that's the flight attendant. That's the lovely Lisa. As good with animals, dogs, cats, anything anything I've ever seen in my life. And the queen of the animals was nearly bitten by a dog. That's a racing rarity right there. Trust me when I tell you that, because every time it's a good baby, it's a puppy and a baby, and I'll scratch the mommy between the ears. Man, I ain't seen the flight attendant move that fast in about 8 years.
Of all that she has dealt with at 35,000 feet over the last few decades, it all ends because of a yipper.
Yeah, that dog brought some moderate chop, turned it into severe chop. Hey, sources tell us we have a read and some very pertinent information to share for 9 o'clock. And ladies and gentlemen, on lead vocals, we welcome Eric Nordquist from Mankato.
Oh, good morning. And indeed, all the fun we'll have today from the power trip through bumper to bumper, really it's about toys for tots. And so KFAN and the Minnesota Vikings are indeed live right here, Scheels, Eden Prairie. And it's all presented by Unreal. And you can come drop off an unwrapped toy and help those in need this holiday season. And listen to your favorite KFAN shows and see some great Vikings guests. Cam Bynum and Harrison Phillips, Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee.
Yeah.
They were both with the Power Trip. So we'll have some purple inclusion here through Common and Barrero. But come stop by and drop off an unwrapped toy.
Unreal, thank you very much for the wonderful clothing. They sell Unreal merchandise here at Scheels. I live about 5 minutes from here, so therefore I got here 2 minutes before the radio show. It was unbelievable, the traffic to get here for that for that 4.5 minute drive. You're out there Chaska way. What was it for you? About 13? I mean, shoot, we can get used to this, huh?
It was 12 minutes door to door, and it was absolutely fantastic. Something you could get used to, but ultimately we love our studios back in St. Louis Park.
Of course we do.
They let us out of the cage a few times a year.
I think just to land the plane on Queen of the Animals, getting attacked by an animal for the first time in the 10-ish, 11-ish years I've known her. I think the A topic here.
Now we got 30 pictures taking place.
Well, what we also have is that fat King Charles Cavalier right in front of the flight attendant.
Is that Teddy?
That's Teddy. That's my dog Teddy. That's our dog Teddy. That's Fat Ted. But how about when the little white dog was attacking Queen of Animals? Fat Ted just laying there like licking his butt or something. It was crazy.
So who snores more? Is it Teddy or is it the guy in the before video of a CPAP commercial?
Well, why you got to go there early in the show and put me in a bad mood when we had a problem last night? Are you kidding me? How are the wife and kids?
Trouble at home?
Man, how are the wife and kids?
Anyway, moving on. Takes for Tots.
Oh, yeah, right. And takes for Tots are coming up shortly. But once again, thank you to Unreal. Living just a few minutes from here. I'm an Eden Prairie veteran, Eden Prairie Center veteran. In fact, I was just here this weekend buying Christmas cards at Hallmark and walking around Scheels. And the Unreal, I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you, Ava, and Stella get over here much just for like a backpack adventure or something.
Yeah.
But the Unreal stuff they sell here, holy cow. I bought some Unreal pants from Scheels here. They're the best pants I've ever had in my life.
Really? Just like jogger style, like sweatpants?
No, I can't remember. I was just told to say that.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, they're slick. How do I describe them? They're slick. They're joggers. They're slick.
There we go.
And if you're somebody of the variety who gained 8 pounds after Thanksgiving, they still fit perfectly. You know what I mean?
Include that in the next round of copy, Jeff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
No, we come here all the time. And
One size fits all.
One of the cool thing about Scheels is they know that they have so much stuff and they have so much for not only me to look at and buy, including all the Unreal merchandise, but stuff for the kids to do. They actually set up a coffee shop so that you can stop and rest midway through because they know it's a journey.
Oh, yeah.
Upstairs, downstairs.
No doubt.
And this is the place to be. And Unreal, they have an awesome display of all of that.
So thank you, Unreal. Thank you, Scheels. Thank you, Minnesota Vikings. Thank you, everybody involved. And with 9 to noon today, 9 to noon, Paul Allen, producer. Mary, happy birthday. 60th birthday, Mary from Shakopee right here. Took a picture with her a little earlier. Shakopee, deeply rooted in my heart. And they're racing at Canterbury Park. And here comes Mary surging on the outside in her 60th birthday. She takes the lead from the con. They're in the final furlong, and Mary is gone. Touchdown and birthday, Mary. Hey! Congratulations. TJ Hockenson, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. He will be here with us at about 9:30. Anthony Barr. Welcome back, Anthony Barr. He'll be here at 10:30. And it's good to have Anthony Barr back in the mix. TJ's been great. TJ, here we go, 3-2. TJ's going to be here about 9:30. Ben Gessling, a weekly guest, 9 to noon, covers the Minnesota Vikings for the Star Tribune, StarTribune.com. Benjamin will stop by, the scribe, at about 11 o'clock to finalize festivities from Scheels at Eden Prairie Center. And coming up soon, Vikes Bites, Spatchcock, Red Light. It's all coming up very soon. Now, today is Toys for Tots, all right? So once again, if somebody missed it, the modus operandi today, thank you Unreal, thank you Vikings, thank you KFAN, thank you Scheels, thank you Eden Prairie Center, but most importantly, thank the listening audience or those here who are acquiring or amassing Toys for Tots. That's the bill of fare. We do this one time a year. It is the major philanthropic push by your favorite radio station, FM 100.3, KFAN. If somebody missed it earlier, what can they do for them tots?
Yeah, absolutely. Come here to Scheels in Eden Prairie, KFAN broadcasting here all day through Bumper to Bumper with Dan Barrero. Vikings inclusion throughout the day. Looking forward to our guests this morning, 9 to noon.
Yeah.
But drop an unwrapped toy, and help those in need. And by the way, the first 25 people to do so, drop off an unwrapped toy, help somebody in need this Christmas and holiday season. You're going to receive a free KFAN Unreal stocking cap. So you're going to get a free hat, I believe. Is this the one right in front of us here?
Beautiful.
There it is.
Ooh, that's nice.
Look at that. First 25, drop a toy off, get a hat. This Christmas season, so please help the tots.
Children, tots, adults, but adults who are children who are of the children who are of the old soul variety, kind of like adult kids or whatever.
We are adult children.
For the most part. It depends on how things transpire on a daily or a weekly basis, because everything's changing just so quickly.
So we're moody.
With all these Vikings quarterbacks and former Vikings quarterbacks going 32 of 37 in nationally televised games, and it's just so strange right now. But at our hearts, yes, we see sports and to a certain extent life through the eyes of children. That's why it's perfect for 9 to noon to be here for Toys for Tots. But here's the deal. When you leave here, specifically kids, you're going to need takes. You're going to need talkers. You're going to need opinions. And you're going to need prognosticating skills and or prediction merit or projecting merit for, like, when you roll out to the kickball game or the kickball game. Kickball games in Minnesota in December. They happen all the time.
Yeah, hanging out at the lunch table.
Hanging out at the lunch table or in the hallways. You're going to need the proper sports takes to advance through your lives. Thus, Toys for Tots is the bill of fare. Takes for Tots, the bill of fare for 9 to noon. Nordo and I have written down a bunch of takes, not all Vikings related, for the Tots to make the takes your own, take them to the kickball games, take them to the lunch tables, take them to the classrooms, make them your own, and become the smartest sports fan at elementary, middle, or high school. So Toys for Tots is the philanthropic push that has to come through. Takes for Tots is here to benefit the sports minds. Wow, what an elite sports mind in not only the crowd, but those listening to 9 to noon at FM 100.3 KFAN. I'd like to start with this one. Thank you, FVP Batteries, for the marathon segment, FVPparts.com. Tell me what you think of this. The NFC, that's the conference the Minnesota Vikings are in, the National Football Conference. San Francisco will finish with the number 1 seed. Woo. San Francisco is currently a loss behind Philadelphia. San Francisco appears to be an unstoppable machine. And believe it or not, we beat that team. But nevertheless, that's an unstoppable machine right now that will not lose a game the rest of the year. So all Philly has to do is lose one time. And then San Francisco gets its leapfrog on. I believe that's going to happen. So San Francisco is going to be your number 1 seed in the NFC. Then the division champions, the other 3 will be Philadelphia, staving the challenge of the Dallas Cowboys. The Detroit Lions will win the NFC North, and the New Orleans Saints will win the NFC South. Now, New Orleans was usurped this weekend by a ratty Atlanta Falcons team. If you take a look at the NFC South, the worst division maybe ever to be worst in the history of worst of a division in the history of divisions. I think they're the only team that has a plus, like in the green for the plus minus for the scoring differential. Everybody else just of the fat L variety. The Saints just keep trudging along in the positive with the points differential. So low key, I'm sliding the New Orleans Saints into championship mode in the NFC South. Your wild cards will be the Dallas Cowboys, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Minnesota Vikings. Wild card weekend will be Dallas at New Orleans, the LA Rams at the Detroit Lions. Oh, goody.
Don't do it.
Minnesota Vikings at the Philadelphia Eagles for a second time this year. Can I get a witness? Can I get a raucous round of applause at the Friday football feast? So we're going back to Philly. That's the way I see it. Kids, take that take to the kickball game and become the most elite football mind in the history of elite football minds. What do you think? You think I'm off, or you think, or copyright Dan Cole the Common Man? Am I on something or on to something?
I think you're mostly on to something. I'm like you. I have
Straighten me out then, boy.
the Seahawks failing miserably in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, so they're going to knock themselves out of the playoffs. They still have to play the Niners and I believe it's the Eagles. Yes. And so they're out of the mix.
Dallas?
The Seahawks have to play the Niners and the Eagles the next two. That puts them at 6-8, and they'll be on the backside looking up at the Los Angeles Rams.
They ain't going to win a game the rest of the year.
They may not. Things are bad for the Seattle Seahawks. So I like the Rams being in there. Now, I do think the Falcons are going to win the division.
Here they come.
They beat the Saints. I think they're at 6-6.
Yeah.
So they're a game ahead of the 5-7 Saints, and with only 5 to go, you're going to ask the Saints to win 2 more games than the Falcons. I don't think that'll happen. This Jameis thing is just an absolute. I mean, it's a pleasure to watch the disaster eventually unfold.
I forgot about Crab Legs guy.
Crab Legs guy.
That's right. Carr left the game. Jameis came in. Not a care in the world again.
Oh my God!
Just like laughing, bouncing around, throwing the ball deep, not even knowing who's running what route. Just threw. Hey,
this is the second or third time this year in which I've been watching a Lions game, and I've just been begging for somebody not to create miracles, just to do something competent.
Yeah.
Whether it was the Chargers defense a couple of weeks ago, and then it's Jameis Winston missing wide open receivers left and right on a drive that would have taken the lead with a touchdown. It's absolutely disastrous. And in some ways, as imperfect as the Lions have been, they've been so gettable the last month and a half, and they're pulling the 4-leaf clovers and the rabbits out of the darkness the same way the Vikings did with 13 wins a year ago.
Now, wait a second. See, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Chad Abbott, our program director, executive producer for the Vikings Radio Network. Now, that's how you hug somebody. All right? You got one arm around, just, you know, I mean, what Rosie did, that wasn't a hug.
No.
That was 2 a.m. on, like, the corner of 31st and Lake. And I don't really know what happened in front of us, but that's a respectful hug right there. Now we return to regularly scheduled program.
I thought there were stop and frisk laws against Rosie.
I don't understand. But he's so cocksure because he's married to a lawyer. He just does it in front of 100 people. It's like, go ahead and sue me. I got you.
I got an NFL franchise on my side. Everything is on my side these days.
I'm HOF.
100%.
Hell yeah.
No.
Just looking for a bump to first class.
Rules versus guidelines. I think the Saints absolutely flopped their way to a non-playoff season. So we disagree with kind of the minutia and the digging in and out of it.
Yeah,
totally.
But look, at the
the
end
Niners are not going to lose another game.
But at the end of the equation, I mean, you are quasi-staunchly supporting Desmond Ridder, and I'm quasi-staunchly supporting Jameis Winston. I'm just taking one team that actually has the audacity to have scored more points than it's allowed through the first 12 or 13, 12 or 13 games this season. What would be 12, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's at 12, except final week of buys this week, right?
I think it's the final week of buys. Maybe we just have buys the rest of our lives.
Yeah, well,
week 14, teams will have the week off.
And if we actually were alive in any of our fantasy football leagues, we'd be able to tell you exactly who's on buy this week. But
you can sit at the lunch table as a tot and start throwing out the take or pondering. Is quarterback really the most important position on the team?
No doubt.
Because whether it's the Niners, and Brock Purdy has done exactly what he needs to do, but myriad injuries at that position and the carousel that is happening throughout the league, it is just so ugly. You got Trevor Lawrence limping off the field.
Yeah.
Former Vikings quarterback, former Washington Husky Jake Browning.
32 of 37 up in here on the road, nationally televised.
350 and a touchdown last night. And then we're here with Dobbs delirium. Are we drunk on Dobbs? Are we done with Dobbs? Mullins mania, hurting for Hall.
Yep.
It's just the way things are going at that position right now, it's ridiculous. But in premise, to your take, I'm mostly on board, specifically with the Niners running the house in the NFC.
Hey, Harrison, you got 1 second? I just need 2 minutes. I'm going to say something nice about you in front of all these people, if you don't mind. Come on up here real quick. Yeah, just. I mean, if it's, I know you got security over there. I know it's an off Tuesday. If it's too much of a human clipping penalty, we can get around it.
Hey, it's Harrison Phillips.
Harrison Phillips, ladies and gentlemen.
The security he was talking about was his own security. I had to bypass to get this close to him. But
I want to share something that Harrison and I occasionally will talk about after games. I can't remember the last time we did it. I think it was Denver, where my man is having not only the best season of his career, and it's not close, but to have a bye this late in the season, to be a beef eater like him, playing in the trenches, banging the majority of the plays. Main man ain't going to say it, but I'll say it for him. That body and mind had to be tired, and now it gets the bye, and he's back full of fury, ready to help this team win every game the rest of the year. How about a round of applause for Harrison Phillips for just chipping in this year in massive fashion. Now you happy you walked up?
yeah, I appreciate it. I don't need all these pats on my back, but love you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, I love you too. I just want everybody to know, man, you're having a wonderful year. Thank you very much. Harrison Phillips, don't leave home without him.
How about that?
You mentioned the Lions game. I have an off the cuff take for Tots, but it's kind of sad. So you don't really want to bring it to school on a Monday or a Tuesday, get all melancholy and stuff like that during the course of the week.
It'll ruin the whole week.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin the whole week because you would have seen it on a Sunday like the Con and I did, and we'll see if you were feeling the same thing that I was feeling.
You want to get fired on a Friday, and you want to fire off this take on a Friday.
Did you, with Lions and Nollins, did you watch the early stage, like when Detroit jumped them?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's take a peek, see who's around here right now. Hey, all right, we got no Dobbs, we got no Mullins, we got no Hall. Cool. How much were you missing 8?
Yeah.
When Goff's 8. 8's Goff. Okay, they're the same. Underappreciated, pocket passers. They don't move that much. They're both accurate. One's been to the Super Bowl. The other hasn't. The other is probably more physically gifted than the Detroit Lions quarterback. But, I mean, Goff was looking like Cousins in that game when they were opening that lead. And I was back going, come on, man. Did we really lose a guy who plays like this basically all the time in Kirk Cousins? I felt so sad.
No, that's the...
Did you feel that?
And pre-injury, we would in some ways be scoffing at the idea. Hey, look at Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins and see those similarities. But,
oh, wait. There's Dobbs.
Oh.
Yeah, so the running piece, it's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Love the athleticism.
No
the
doubt.
legs are fantastic.
Strength in the lower body to shake tackles.
Really trying to unlock that here moving forward. There's no doubt about it with Dobbs.
So I watched him throw Amon-Ra St. Brown open.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just a dime. And again, if you believe Goff and 8 and Goff are kind of the same, but for different reasons, which we do, then what you saw, I just kind of, it didn't ruin the bye weekend or anything, but I'm kind of like, hey, man, it would have been great to just had you the whole run, you know?
Look, whoever starts for the Purple on Sunday, I'm going to root for him because I am a 39-year-old adult child, and I love my favorite team, so that's all settled. But
wait, there's Mullins.
Oh,
that 4-14
revenge game, Allegiant.
They traded.
Are you kidding me?
They didn't want him.
They didn't want Mullins.
They didn't want him. So, I mean, when you have a revenge angle like that, a metaphorical chip on a shoulder, I mean, 4-14 against Seattle, like in his rookie year. Okay. Yep, have a good day. So
The timing routes, specifically. So
Yep.
you're mentioning him anticipating and throwing Amon-Ra open.
Yeah.
What we miss with Kirk is just that dagger slant that he threw to Laporta
Yeah.
for the touchdown.
Right, that-
the type of pinpoint accuracy,
Hold on.
just in some of the more simplistic throws.
Yeah, that's Jaron
I mean, that's 8 to the max.
yeah, there's Jaron Hall over there.
You know what, Chance? I mean, with the team basically has a moral obligation to see what they have in Jaron Hall
That's what
in
the fans want.
2023 down the stretch.
That's what the fans want. 64686. That's what the fans want, right?
You get some of that mobility. You can open up more
Yeah.
knowledge maybe in the playbook
Yeah.
functionally. Did you see how he threw to Johnny Munt
Unbelievable.
on that one drive he
On the
had in the Atlanta
sideline?
game? Are you kidding me?
I mean, Danny Ainge is my all-time favorite basketball player. Jim McMahon, my all-time favorite quarterback. Both went to BYU. Those are takes for Tots at Toys for Tots at Eden Prairie Center at Scheels. TJ Hockenson, tight end for the Minnesota Vikings, should be joining us soon. And after he chats with 9 to noon, I believe he's going to walk around the store and do some shopping. And then about an hour and change from now, Anthony Barr. But we have many more takes for Tots we will unfurl at Scheels in Eden Prairie. Once again, thank you very much, Scheels. Thank you, Eden Prairie Center. Thank you, KFAN. Thank you, Unreal, the sponsor of this. Thank you, Minnesota Vikings. And thank you, United States, is it the Marine Corps, right?
Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, of course, the first 25 people that come in and drop an unwrapped toy off during 9 to noon, first 25 going to catch a free KFAN Unreal stocking cap. So, Unreal, tremendous partners, not only with the bike.
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Josh Oliver. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why they don't throw more to Oliver.
No, I've been thinking about it. Not only
Yeah.
the best blocking tight end, but sneakily
Yeah.
one of the better backup pass catchers that you're going to see in the league.
Well, there's no doubt.
And you know what? He's
Okay,
finally
he's
gotten
gone.
the penalties under. Okay, let's move on from Josh Oliver
He's
and
gone.
talk about
Stocking caps.
people getting free stocking caps. Unreal being an unreal partner, not only of the Vikings but KFAN doing all of these events, and Scheels is such a tremendous host as we do Toys for Tots. And let me get one more out of the way before we do pause, PA, is as the official soft drink of the Vikings, Pepsi is happy to partner with them, and star tight end TJ Hockenson, our upcoming guest here 9 to noon, in bettering the Twin Cities community year-round, but especially during the holiday season. Happy holidays, and Skol from Pepsi.
Josh Up, Johnny Mutt, Ben Sitt, TJ Hockenson joins 9 to noon at Scheels in Eden Prairie around the corner. Toys for Tots, ladies and gentlemen. Let's benefit these children all day and listen to it at FM 100.3 KFAN.
Sunshine caresses each new waking hour. Seems to me that people keep seeing more and more each day. Gotta say, lead the way. It's okay.
Unreal on the Fan.
You know, you make me feel so good inside. I've always wanted a girl just like you. Such a purity, pretty young thing. Where did you come from, baby? And ooh, won't you take me there right away? Won't you, baby? Tenderoni, you got to be. Spark my need, just sugar fly with me. Don't you know now? It's the perfect time. We can make it right till the city lights. When the night is the love and pain. Let me take it to the max. I want to love you, pretty young thing. You need some loving, to the love and care, and I'll take it there. I want to love you, pretty young thing. You need some loving, to the love and care, and I'll take it there. Yes, I will.
We have another take for Tots if you need some takes. And one of the best tight ends in the National Football League is about ready to join us here coming up shortly. But Jacksonville Jaguars devotees. You know, we got a lot of those in Minnesota, right?
Oh, yeah.
Losing at home to Jake Browning is bad for business.
It is.
And it's nothing personal with Jake. A very, very nice guy. Used to be here with the Minnesota Vikings. In fact, a week from Saturday, we'll see him at Cincinnati. The former Viking went 32 for 37. So when you're the Jacksonville Jaguars, all out trying to win a division, You get your first Monday Night Football game in 12 years. You're not going against Joe Burrow. You're going against the backup, and then you lose the game. Holy cow.
Yeah, I can't believe. And Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen, was fantastic last night in spots.
The bomb.
And so at times everything was working their way. I'm almost speechless in terms of how Zach Taylor has figured out to get that offense even to be some semblance of competent. I saw you on Twitter last night. You're like, man, Jamar Chase has to be hating this.
Halfway through the first, don't tell me he ended up with 275 and 5.
Well,
I went to sleep in the second quarter.
He did rip off a 75-yard touchdown in the game shortly after. But to that end, it is dink and dunk. It is what can we squeeze the blood of the stone of Joe Mixon to keep that thing going. But Browning was just super efficient, made good decisions. And when you have Trevor Lawrence going down with the ankle, now you're checking out, I think he's a former Niner too, C.J. Beathard, the former Iowa kid. He comes in, now he's hurting his hand, and so it was just disastrous last night all around. I've really been bullish on what Doug Peterson's been able to do with Trevor Lawrence and that Jags team, and it's a filthy AFC South, but that was ugly last night.
We will have a couple of Vikings players as guests today for Toys for Tots at Scheels in Eden Prairie. And our first is absolutely one of the very best in the game. And take a listen to this. 1st and 10 from the Bears, 17. Clock runs. Dobbs, shotgun, short drop. Looks right, sees nothing. Throws to the end zone. Touchdown! TJ Hockenson with a 17-yard grab has tied the game at 9. Here he is, TJ Hockenson, ladies and gentlemen. Leads all National Football League tight ends with 80 receptions. Also first with 108 targets, far clear from the rest. And second in yardage with 786, chasing Travis Kelce, and he joins us now. You're going to be doing some shopping soon, aren't you, my man? What's going on?
That's the plan, yeah. We're excited to be out here at Scheels and, help some kids out and go on a little shopping spree. I think it's going to be fun.
This Unreal clothing, as we have mentioned, is fantastic. It especially when you're a well-oiled machine athlete like TJ Hockenson compared to the producer and yours truly. I haven't felt my ribs in 30 years, and all of a sudden my man rolls up with like 2% body fat, and I'm like, damn, that unreal gold Viking sweatshirt looks unbelievable on him, doesn't it?
Yeah, you and I don't walk around trying to look like the freaking sun, so we'll leave the yellow color. I'm happy with my gray, but TJ definitely making Unreal look good.
Scheels, Eden Prairie Center, purchase a toy, and we'll go to a tot thanks to the Marine Corps. We appreciate that. Pushing through pain. Have you ever experienced anything in any of your professional or say Hawkeye's career where you don't need to get into the particulars of all the body parts that with a bye this late in the season, man, but it's like we've seen you in games catch passes, then you're sitting down there, it takes you a little while to get up, injury report, limited, did not practice, play, score, just the bomb in games. But it was a couple of Wednesdays ago when I get out there Wednesday to do my radio show, and I get out there early. So I was walking down the hallway. Remember when I saw you?
Oh, yeah.
And you had your hood? I mean, it wasn't I don't know. It looked like every body part you had hurt as you walked just gingerly down that hallway on a Wednesday. And I'm like, damn, man, TJ's coming through every single play, but TJ needs the bye. That late bye can be tough, right?
Yeah, no, it was a tough 5-game stretch for sure, but having a bye this late, and it really helped out, I think, a lot of guys' bodies, especially mine, coming off of this and doing a little run through yesterday and doing a little practice. Obviously it felt a lot better than I did when I left. So I think we're all just ready for this 5-game stretch and keep this season going. So it was definitely a tough stretch there for a little bit with the body, but we're getting through it.
Tough stretch from a health perspective and just trying to stay on the field and keep grinding the mental aspect of that. What's the mental part of it been like with with adjusting to Joshua Dobbs. And these last 4 games in general, even putting wins and losses aside, just the aspect of having a transition from Kirk Cousins and then getting ready all week for Jaron Hall, the crazy chaos of what took place in Atlanta, but then just continuing to try and work on this offense over the last month, getting used to Dobbs. What's that been like?
You know, I mean, I've thrown with Dobbs in the offseason a couple times. He's a Nashville guy, so you know, that's where I'm at in the offseason. So to be able to transition to his ball wasn't a big thing for me. You know, the thing about this league is, and you find out about quarterbacks, is they're all different. You know, they all have different likings and different takes that they want and in certain situations, and obviously Josh is one of those guys that can make a play when you need him to, and can make a play with his legs. And so you know, just the transition from that was being able to continue and get open while you can, you know, in the backfield, and he can extend plays and do things. And so it's the play's not over until the ball's down, was the biggest thing that we all learned in those 4 weeks, and just continuing with Josh. I mean, he's a great dude. He's a great leader, and to have him come in as late as he did and do what he's done has been truly incredible.
Help me with this. So you're from Iowa. You went to the University of Iowa. You're a Hawkeye. You came into the league in the city of Detroit, and then now you execute your toil in Minneapolis, St. Paul. How'd you settle on Nashville? How'd you settle on Nashville?
Yeah, I mean, I met my fiance there, so it ended up being pretty good. But, you know, I think Nashville is just a place where all the tight ends are at. When I was, after my rookie year, George Kittle and, you know, Rob Tunyon and there's a bunch of guys down there, asked me to come down, and I went down there for the offseason, and then loved every second of the city, loved just being in the warmth and you know, in the work, and they have a really good setup down there. So, I ended up making it home, and, you know, it's been a great place for me to get away from the cities that I play in, and then and come back and be ready to go.
So when and maybe you haven't seen enough through the Dobbs games, like second quarter Atlanta, then Saints, and then the other 2 games. But nevertheless, is it now with Jefferson returning, and you're of the Pro Bowl / All Pro variety, and then you got Addison, who's been as good as any rookie receiver this side of Puka Nacua in the National Football League. So 3 legitimate threats, all right, with time for an offensive-minded head coach and coaching staff to craft some things. Here's the question. Whether it's Dobbs, Mullins, Hall, or whomever coming up at Las Vegas, when a quarterback is naturally gifted with the run, like Dobbs is, I mean, it's a gift. It's a natural gift. It's not forced or anything. How hard is it when you got Addison, Hockenson, and or JJ? How difficult is it choosing, like how often do they get doubled? Because like if you got to spy somebody on a running quarterback, well, you can't double them all. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, you know, that's where the hard part comes in with a running quarterback is, you know, obviously the spy has to come from the top down safety or the backer, you know, which limits double teams in a lot of situations, whether it's JJ over top with the safeties and or it's me underneath with the backers, you know, so or it's JA on the other side, you know, so it's hard on a defense when you have all 3 or, you know, our entire receiving core and then a quarterback that can move. I mean, and all of them can move, but obviously Josh has a special gift, you know, and so I think it's very hard on defenses, and when they double one guy, you know, obviously they can't double us all, so it puts us one-on-one either underneath coverage or over the top in Jordan's case, and so I think it's going to be huge to have JJ back on the field, and it's going to be, I mean, he's obviously one of a kind player and one of a generational player. Just, I mean, you guys don't even get to see half of it, what he does in practice and stuff that he just tries to do rather than actually doing it on the field. So it's going to be a blast these next 5 weeks, and I think we're just taking it 1 week at a time.
And with Kevin O'Connell's press conference tomorrow to get into the Raiders week, the expectation is, at least knowing KOC and the way he operates, I bet you he probably says who the starting quarterback will be this weekend. So that potentially could come up tomorrow. Nordo?
How tough do you think it was on Justin Jefferson, having to watch you guys? And he's been such a personality and a vocal aspect from the sidelines. He doesn't look like he's been disconnected at all since he's been out with that injury. But in the same sense of wanting someone to be healthy, but having to pull him back because he wants to be out there with you. How has he handled that, you think?
I mean, I know JJ real well, and obviously he wants to be in between the white lines. I mean, he's one of a kind, not just as a player, but as a person. I mean, he's a great human being to be around. He's a great teammate. And he was there throughout the however long he was out. You know, I mean, he was in the meetings, he was on the field, he was always wanting to help guys and get better. And you know, I've said this before in a conference was, you know, I've had some routes throughout these last weeks that JJ's had in the past, and I haven't been able to run, obviously because we have 1-8 out there, you know. So just going up to him and being able to ask him, hey, what do you see in these situations? How do you run this? How do you kind of do these things? And I'll do my best impression of it, you know. So it's been a blast to have him, and obviously it's tough watching the team on the sideline, not knowing you're not able to go out there and help out. And I've been in that situation, and it's obviously not fun because you want to be out there with your brothers, and that's why you go through things. That's why you go through the off season as long as it is. That's why you go through camp as long as it is, and you go through all these preparations in order to be out there with the boys and be out there with your teammates. And so obviously that's hard, but he's handled it with true grace and professionalism.
TJ got to get out there and shop for Tots, Toys for Tots, Scheels, Eden Prairie Center. And lastly, how good was Kirk playing when he popped that Achilles? I mean, seriously.
I mean, insane. I mean, Kirk is one of a kind, obviously. He's so mentally focused. He understands coverages. He understands what we're trying to do as an offense, and he can put the ball in places that not many people can. And he was doing it at a really high level when he got hurt. And obviously he's gonna come back stronger, just knowing Kirk and knowing how he's been working in the training room these last few weeks. And I'm just really excited to watch him come back and keep doing his thing.
TJ Hockenson, ladies and gentlemen, what'd you think of that Big Ten title game?
That was a tough one.
It was
a tough one for the Hawks.
Yeah, Michigan's a really, really good squad, so that's all right. Still a very good season for the Hawkeyes, right?
Exactly. They'll be down in Florida, so I'll be watching that one.
Good seeing you, brother.
Great to see you. Thank you.
TJ Hockenson, ladies and gentlemen, one of the very best in the National Football League. He's TJ. Anthony Barr joins us 45 minutes from now. Nashville go crazy. 9 to noon continues around the corner from Scheels at Eden Prairie Center at FM 100.3.
Real on the Fan.
9 to noon, Scheels, Eden Prairie Center, Toys for Tots. We got some work to do. What's going on?
Indeed, it's the most wonderful time of the year at Caribou Coffee, the official hometown coffee of the Minnesota Vikings. Use the Caribou Coffee app to order ahead, skip the line, and savor the flavors of a Ho-Ho Mint Mocha this holiday season. That sounds delicious. Thank you, Caribou Coffee.
Caribou, fueling 9 to noon into the second hour coming up shortly. And along with Takes for Tots and some other things we will unfurl, Anthony Barr. That was Mike Zimmer's first round draft pick in 2014. EB, number 5'5", now number 5'4". He played for the Minnesota Vikings, as all these elite football minds know, for X amount of years. Went to Dallas, was relegated to Dallas. Then all of a sudden he was, as they say on the street, Philly started flirting with him. Likewise for Shaq Leonard. Likewise for Dallas with Shaq Leonard. And we ended up with Anthony Barr, and he's played a couple of games for us. He'll be here at about 10:30, and that's going to be super, super sweet. Now, after a brief pause coming up here shortly, one take we will unfurl for Tots, and it's a take, but it's not like a bang your fist on the table, you're an idiot if you use this guy, or you're an idiot if you use that guy. When it comes to Minnesota Vikings quarterbacks not named Kirk Cousins, whether it's Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, or BYU rookie Jaron Hall, you know, I wrote things out yesterday for 9 to noon. I got to like 15% of it, where I had like cases for each of them and flaws for each of them and stuff. Of course,
you had a spreadsheet.
Of course, I left it at home. But nevertheless, after I got done putting the whole thing together on Sunday, I'm kind of like, all right, let's just throw caution to the wind here and see what's going on when we go out Las Vegas way. It's like, if I don't want to lay out who should be or who will be favored and why to start at quarterback for the Vikings on Sunday, but Dobbs would be favored and he would be prohibitively favored.
Yes.
Why? Because he's been playing of late. Second choice, as I laid out yesterday, would be Nick Mullins. Third choice would be Jaron Hall.
Correct.
And we will get into that around the corner. But just a brief little snippet is I do believe in this game it is right and just to use Josh Dobbs at quarterback with Jefferson back in this game. Now, when you have certain players, when you have players who ascend to certain spots, it's the last thing you want is them to feel like they're on a week-to-week contract basis. Well, when you're down to quarterbacks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, with all due respect, that for me, they're on a half-by-half analytical or analyzing basis until you settle into consistency and things that can help you win games consistently and efficiently and maybe explosively with Jefferson back. But that'll be a take that we will amplify, extend, and then get into some of Nordo's thoughts on the conversation when 9 to noon continues from Scheels at Eden Prairie Center.